After much anticipation, guys, here she is. This is a 2021 Coyote Zenith racing cart. I've done rental carts and practice days and things like that, over years, but I've never owned a cart, and this year I wanted to go racing. I've raced some other carts that people have had and done little practice days, but I've never raced them competitively. This year, I wanted to get a cart because I want to race. I don't want to just go out there and practice and do some hot laps. I want to actually go out there and try to be as competitive as I can. So why did I get it? Well, I just want to go racing this year. It's as simple as that. So this year, I plan on racing 2 different tracks. Why? Because seat time. Everybody says the only way to get faster, ideally, is seat time, seat time, seat time. So I'm going to take that to heart. Instead of doing a bunch of practices, which are great, but there's minimal people on track. Some people run different classes to you, so you might not have a faster guy or someone who knows the route very well. So we're gonna try to take races and use them as our practice, because what better way to learn than actually race? So let's get into it. Let's roll this thing inside and dig more into it. All right, guys, we got her rolled into the shop. Let's take a closer look. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go around the cart. We're gonna nut and bolt check everything, make sure that everything's tight, or in some cases, a lot of things are intentionally supposed to be left loose, something I didn't know, but in the karting community, that's a very normal thing. So we'll check over everything, make a list of anything that needs to be replaced. I've already got a couple things that I've pre-ordered. We'll talk about that in a second. One of the things is old worn tires. Knew it was gonna need some. These are still good. It's got some practice life left in it, but not probably great for racing. The one thing that I want to talk about is some of the gear you need. So one thing you need is shoes, protect your feet. I'm just reusing my old racing shoes from drag racing. I got an old helmet, which I actually just ordered a new one last night because this one's expired and I didn't realize it. So safety first. I have an old karting suit that I'm going to repurpose along with my racing gloves. The 2 new things that I did order kart specific was a neck guard, and then the big thing is a rib protector. So I bought a nice one from Bengio, a nice carbon fiber one. I'd say probably overspent, but honestly, I got a really good deal because it was on sale. Otherwise, there's no way I would have spent that much money just for something that goes around your ribs. I should say, not just something that goes around your ribs. A rib protector is a game changer. If you've never worn one karting before, wear one and you'll never not wear one again. Promise. Enough of that. What are some of the parts that I got? The big things that I ordered ahead of time because I knew I was going to need them regardless. Tires. So these are MG rain tires, and these are the MG red slick tires. And these will be for one of the tracks that I'm going to race. I have Vega Reds and Vega Rain tires, and that will be for the other track I plan on racing this year because they run 2 different tires types at each of the tracks. Another thing is, you probably already noticed it on the cart, but I did get ahead of myself. I started replacing the fuel line because it was just old and outdated and I just want to freshen it up. Another requirement too is I ordered a MyLaps transponder so I can get accurate lap times. It was just cheaper just to go buy one and subscribe than renting one. Another thing I don't necessarily need was I bought a cheap little thing on Amazon, which I mainly bought it for the hour meter, just so I can keep track of like when oil changes are due and just periodic maintenance that I would like to do. I don't really need it. I may or may not even put it on the cart. The reason I say don't really need it is because I bought this Micron 5S. This is just a single temperature one. Data, lap times. Not only do you have the transponder to pull lap time data on, but this has GPS and all sorts of other amazing data that you can use to learn and be a better driver. We also got some new wheels. We got 2 sets of wheels. I figured it'd just be easier to buy an extra set of wheels so I can mount the 1 set of tires for this track and mount the other set of tires for the other track, and I can just swap wheels and I don't have to dismount tires back and forth. While it would be cheaper to do that and save a bunch of money, it's just not worth the time. These are the 180 millimeter rears. I did not get the 212 millimeter ones, partially because one of the track's rule sets doesn't allow it. So I'm just not going to run it. Some people run the 210 millimeter rear wheel with the rear 6-inch slick. Basically, they kind of stretch it out. They say it has some minor improvements for performance. I'm not going to lie. I'm not a good driver. I'm a rookie. I've never done this before, so I don't care. I simply don't. So I'm not going to take it that seriously to that degree. I just want to primarily go out there, get seat time, and things like that. But because I bought a Micron for all this data logging, and the steering wheel that's on it, if you didn't notice, was a Barrel Art, which is not even a Barrel Art Kart. There's nowhere to mount this. These holes are too big, and the nut and washers would just go right through it, and it's all beat up. So what do you think Lee did? Of course I did. I bought a new steering wheel. So we're gonna put the new steering wheel on there, mount the Micron, mount the rest of the electronics that go with the Micron. That's that. I mean, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So it's kind of the basics of it. I'm gonna put my hands on all these nuts and bolts and make sure everything's tight or loose in some cases, and just identify any other things that I might need to fix, repair, adjust before I go out and do a couple practice sessions. But I have about 2 weeks from now, as the time of this recording, to practice before my first race. So let's get to it. Put our hands on just about everything on the cart. Everything seems tight. Checked for things like this, clips that are supposed to be through bolts. I checked for all those. Everything looks good. I got the new wheels on. The reason I want to put the wheels on is I want to make sure that the width of all the rims are the same, but I believe the offset is different on the rear. At least visually I could tell the offset. It looks like the wheel is out a little farther, and the fronts look the same. What I'll have to do is get a tape measure on and check the rear track width to see how much it changed from those wheels. I believe the max width on these is 1400 millimeters. Not sure what that is in inches. So we'll have to measure it and make sure we're not too far out. And honestly, I'll probably have to mount a tire because I'm pretty sure the measurement goes from not just the outside of the wheel or itself, but the tire also. So I'll have to double check the rules and figure that out. That way, in case I get inspected through tech or something, I don't get disqualified for something silly. Got the steering wheel on there, the old Micron 5S on there. Boom, check that out. So she's good. The one thing I noticed though is something in the alignment's not correct. So the steering wheel is slightly to the right. The seat is off-centered, so try to ignore the seat because the seat is slightly left of center, and it's cockeyed like this, and the reason it's like that is because of the Briggs & Stratton motor. The clutch and everything is on the inside, so in order to clearance all this, you have to move the seat slightly left of center. If you're trying to look and eclipse the center of the steering column, and right there, that silver thing is actually the steering shaft, the bottom of it, where the tie rods mount to the actual arms or the wheels. But it all looks like everything is slightly turned to the right. I was also looking at this as I looking at the tie rods, and I put a caliper on it, but I also noticed that this tie rod is 250 millimeters in length, total length, assuming it's never been cut, which I'm sure it hasn't because I put it on. And this one doesn't have a marking, but this is 260 millimeters. I believe this is the correct one because when you actually straighten the column out and line with the chassis, this wheel looks pretty straightforward. I'm sure it's not exactly straight because I'm sure it has a little toe in or toe out on it. But the other one looks like this is the short rod. So I'm pretty sure this rod needs to be 260 millimeter and this needs to be also 260. So I'm gonna order one of those. I can make that adjustment on that side and go from there. It doesn't seem like somebody did that intentionally. They might've just had the cart apart, grabbed a tie rod and threw it in there and put the cart back together. I'll have to wait for that part. I'm waiting for the temperature, the coolant head temperature wire also, because the Micron and my little hour meter both have wires that wrap around the spark plug to get the RPM signal. But I want to kind of keep it neat and tidy, so I'm going to wait till that wire gets here so I can loom it all together and then run it along here. One other thing I wanted to show you guys, because I am a tall individual, I'm a little over 6 feet tall. Carts are not exactly a big thing. So two things I figured out is I did have to move the seat, which I already did. I totally forgot to film it. You can kind of see, I just put a longer bolt and another spacer, a 1-inch spacer to move it back. So I did that. That was a pretty easy thing. All I did is drill 2 holes, spacer, and a longer bolt. Problem solved. And then I did a little trimming of the, I believe they call it a Nassau panel, which is just this front panel here. I did some trimming here. This panel used to come like a lot farther out. I might be exaggerating a little bit, but it came quite a bit farther out, and I did trim it a little bit in here. So when I stick my feet in here, you can see where my foot is, a lot of pedal room here. So this is the next step, is I need to mount those Vega Reds to those Swift magnesium wheels. I don't need this tool right here, which is to debead the tires, but I will use this scissor tool to help get them on, and a bunch of arm strength. So I'm kind of dreading this. I've never done it before. Seen a couple videos online. Didn't look that hard, but I'll probably struggle with it. So let's just get to it. Woo! All right, that ain't no joke. It's a lot more exhausting than it needs to be, for sure. We got the wheels mounted, which is awesome. They look great, the new wheels with the new tires. The reason I put these tires, wheels and tires on, even though they're brand new and I'm gonna do some practice sessions, I'm not gonna use these for practice, but before we go practice, I'm gonna use these wheels to set the kart up to make sure the alignment's dialed in, all the widths and all that are correct. That way, for race day, it's already set up, and then I will just put the old cheapo wheels on there with the beat up tires on there, just get some practice laps in until they're dead, which those wheels got a little life left, but not much. Like I said, got the Micron, the new wheel on, got the MyLapse transponder mounted there. That's pretty much a stopping point for now. We're gonna wait until some of the parts we ordered come in. We can adjust the tie rods, we can get the new tie rod in, adjust that, do the alignment on this, wire the Micron sensors in there and loom it real nice, just because I'm OCD and super picky. So I will see you when we got parts. All right, guys, we got our package and Wyatt's in town. Woohoo!
Imagine.
Well, that was a crazy intro. Just kidding. I'll probably refilm that because this
Don't
guy's a
refilm
douche.
that. Put that in your video, and just don't put your address.
Yeah, I will. And because I don't even know how to blur this out, so I'll just cut it out completely. All right, guys, we got work to do. Let's do it. All right, guys, as you can see, UPS has showed up with our package, and let's see what we got. So real quick, couple things I ordered is the sniper alignment kit. And this guy's over here yelling at me. Hey, shut up, I'm trying to film.
Trying to film. Shut up.
Anywho, so I got the sniper alignment kit, which is hopefully will be everything that we need it to be. I got a sprocket guard. I'm hoping this isn't too big. My sprocket sits pretty low to the ground as it is, so hopefully I can use this to save it just in case. I do have my temperature sensor, put it under a spark plug. I got my new tie rod and tie rod ends and a couple of spare clips that just to have on hand. All right, guys, so a couple little things we got, so let's just get those things installed. All right, so that pretty much wraps it up. So we got the sprocket guard on there, which is super close to the bottom of the frame, but because the sprocket is that close, that's why I wanted to run the guard, and well, hopefully it'll hit the guard and not the sprocket. Save that. Hopefully it doesn't hit anything at all, but we'll never know. And then I got the temperature sensor for that goes under a spark plug for the head. Got that all routed up and hooked up to the Micron. That looks good. And we also got the alignment done. One thing that I'll have to mention is I must have been wrong, because what I did is I put the 260 and a 250 millimeter tie rod end back on it, because apparently that's what creates square geometry in this. I don't know if something's potentially bent. I'll have to look into it a little bit more, but I put it back the way it was because that is what I got square geometry on. So we actually did, I got the Sniper version 2 laser alignment there, so we did get the alignment done. That should set us up for practice and our race next Saturday. As always, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one.